You can see with our Extreme Nav system, a residential area mixed in with some commercial areas as well. Speeds as high as 60 miles an hour at times. And this is a very busy time of day, a getaway Friday for a holiday weekend. Again, driving this BMW, being pursued by the Los Angeles Police Department, is an individual wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. And as you said, Alex, that weapon could be the vehicle itself. It could be a hammer, a knife, a gun. Anything that forcibly was trying to harm somebody. Weaving in and out of traffic, surface streets, narrow surface streets, high speeds. He's been going against traffic. We did think he actually sideswiped a parked vehicle just a short time ago. But you can see how busy it is right now. And the LAPD at times, they may pull off and track this from the air. And there is an LAPD helicopter above as well.
Sometimes pursuit suspects will, for the most part, follow the rules of the road, obviously, other than trying to get away from the cops. This person not stopping at stop signs, going the wrong direction, not stopping at red lights. I mean, he could be hitting somebody at any one of these intersections, any pedestrians that may be out walking their dogs and driving and swerving so much, this person could lose control of their vehicle at any time.
This is going down the wrong way right now.
70 miles an hour, and just ripping.
We just did hear that the assault with a deadly weapon, in fact, was a gun. So we do know that. But then again, also, in addition, this vehicle is a deadly weapon without question, with speeds nearing 80 miles per hour, Rick, on these surface streets.
On Truman Street. And one thing I have noticed is that first, this pursuit has stayed on surface streets and generally in the same area, but now
the wrong way,
making a trek into the San Fernando area. Yeah, very high rates of speeds against traffic. It's amazing that we have not seen a serious collision yet, and because we're so tight, I just saw on the bottom of the monitor there the rotors from the helicopter. Oh, wow. So they're tracking from the air, but it's very possible the ground units have backed off. LAPD will do that at times because of the intense danger, the nature of these types of pursuits, to hopefully calm that suspect down, to slow him down against traffic there. This is on Truman Street, and now we're in the community of San Fernando, very close to Mission Hills here in the north end of the San Fernando Valley. This is up by the 5, the 405, and the 210 freeway.
And this is terrifying to watch.
And in fact, that it is an assault with a deadly weapon, person with a gun, makes us even more precarious for the officers, because if they are able to stop this person, you wonder whether this person is armed. Clearly, this person is desperate right now and reckless. Yeah.
And as you said, could be in possession of that gun in that vehicle at this time. I'll tell you what, a precision driver, though, seeing this driver weave in and out of traffic against oncoming traffic at very high rates of speed, just threading the needle there through, choosing to stay off the freeway. And there's a lot of options in that north end of the San Fernando Valley. Now through the Pacoima area, which is a bit south of Sylmar. We have the 118 freeway there, the 405 freeway, and up to the north, the 210 freeway. At speeds of close to 80 miles an hour still, Sepulveda Boulevard, a very busy thoroughfare there through the San Fernando Valley at this time on a Friday evening, a getaway Friday evening for a holiday weekend.
Here we go. Threading that needle, as you always say, Rick, in and out of traffic. It looks like a 4-door, so a black BMW sedan.
Wow, look at him go.
Yeah, in and out.
Like I said, precision driving. You know, that is a high-end sports sedan there, that BMW. Again, if you're just tuning in, a high-speed pursuit, a very dangerous pursuit on surface streets initiated by the Los Angeles Police Department. This individual wanted for an assault with a deadly weapon, just hearing that that weapon was a gun. And this driver, unknown if there's anybody else inside that vehicle, you can see the windows are tinted out, doing whatever he can to get away against traffic. Again, 89, 90 plus miles an hour on San Fernando Road.
This is one of those situations where, Rick, you have to assume that LAPD has backed off simply because it is so dangerous.
18% of suspects on average in the Los Angeles Police Department's jurisdiction do get away from these pursuits, and at times it is just because of that. Because the LAPD, what they'll do is they'll track the vehicle in the air. And you can see we widened out. We don't see any units back there, but there's a helicopter, bottom right side of your screen there, the black and white, that's an LAPD airship still monitoring this from above, choosing to stay on San Fernando Road here through the community of Pacoima, which is in the north end of the San Fernando Valley.
You just got to think about the people that have probably worked a long week, finally getting off, heading into a holiday weekend, have no idea that this is coming at them and how dangerous this could be, especially when this driver is going the wrong direction. And you just feel, maybe if you know people that are driving in this area, to give them a heads up of what's coming, because this person could hit anybody at any time the way that they're driving.
And he just made a right turn on Branford Street, which is an east-west street here through the north end of the San Fernando Valley. That would be close to the 5 and the 170 split, just north of that location. Again, we widened out. We did not see any LAPD units on the ground tracking this suspect, this assault with a deadly weapon. Oh, there we go. It's picking up speed right behind him now, just as we spoke. And that LAPD helicopter below SkyFOX with our extreme nav system tracking all this for you is flying at a very low altitude, tracking this suspect as well. This BMW being pursued by the Los Angeles Police Department, threading that needle again, speeds up to close to 70 miles an hour. That's the 5 freeway, very close to the 170 split. He is traveling eastbound on Branford Street at Sharp Avenue, now into the Arleta area.
And too fast right now for a pit maneuver, which would be where they try to tap the vehicle and bring this to a close. Usually they try to do that around 35, 40 miles an hour. Right now, driving closer to 50 miles an hour. Oh.
It's amazing that we have not seen...
The sunroof
it looks like
is
the
open?
sunroof's open.
Yeah.
Sunroof's open, that we have not seen a collision as of yet.
And you see the hazard lights on in the back.
Yep, hazard lights on. That could be, unintentional, just that he's doing whatever he can, commanding this vehicle at the steering wheel and bumping. Sometimes we see windshield wipers click on as well, but here he goes. He's got the sunroof open. Unclear if he has anybody else inside that vehicle. This is an assault with a deadly weapon suspect. Allegedly, that weapon was a gun being pursued here through the San Fernando Valley on Branford Street through Arleta. Speed still in excess of 70, 80 miles an hour at times as our extreme nav system. You can see the speedometer there in the upper right corner of your screen. He's going up. That LAPD unit's getting closer.
Are they going to try to hit him?
You know, we say 35 miles an hour or so, as you mentioned, Alex and Marla, but at times that this is such a dangerous location.
It really is.
So many vehicles that could be impacted. There's pedestrians out there.
Whoa.
Wow. It's amazing how he is commandeering this vehicle at the speeds he is and not colliding with anybody. But his luck is got to run out, I would think.
There's got to be a lot of wind, Marla, you think, in that vehicle with the sunroof and going that fast on the streets like that as well.
Well, and this has been underway for about 45 minutes. LAPD first getting the call at 4:45. So we're 45 minutes into this erratic, wild driving, weaving in and out of traffic. We've seen speeds above 80 miles per hour on these really crowded surface streets on this Friday evening. Assault with a deadly weapon suspect. I mean, several near misses.
Wow.
It feels like a Fast and the Furious movie or something. I mean, the way that this person is driving around traffic, as you mentioned, Rick, a pretty good driver to be able to pull this off.
Yeah, he was just on Woodman there, which is a north-south street through the San Fernando Valley, made a turn onto Osborne, which is east-west, choosing to stay in that same area of the San Fernando Valley. We see that at times. Maybe he just doesn't know the area very well, and that's why. Sometimes they do stay in locations that they are familiar with, where they know people in the area, where they feel that they could duck into an alley of some sort or into a back garage, something to get away. And that's a possibility here, because so far this suspect, at least from what we've seen since we picked up coverage of this pursuit, has not entered the freeway. Widening out here, now we're getting into the heart of the Panorama City, the San Fernando Valley, making a turn onto Van Nuys Boulevard now. So still staying in that general area, Arleta from Sylmar into Panorama City in the north end of the San Fernando Valley. This suspect driving so erratically, so dangerously, high rates of speeds. We're going to be approaching the 6 o'clock hour on a getaway Friday for the Labor Day weekend. A lot of people out and about. and this pursuit has got to come to an end. Hopefully, the LAPD will be able to make that happen safely. So far, we haven't seen anything devastating, but I'm telling you, the way that we're watching this, anything could happen.
So it is now 5:30. You are watching the Fox 11 News at 5. I'm Alex Michelson with Marla Tejas and Rick Dickert. This is an assault with a deadly weapon suspect believed to have used a gun for that assault with a deadly weapon. This person driving throughout the side streets of the San Fernando Valley in this BMW, erratically getting around traffic. We know that they sideswiped at least one vehicle, which happened right before we got on the air. You wonder, Marla, if this vehicle is damaged in any way. We see those hazard lights that are on.
It looks like the sunroof is closed. Is that just me?
Yep, looks like he closed it.
Looks like he closed the sunroof at this point. So we picked this up in Sylmar. Again, it started just about 45 minutes ago at 4:45. The sunroof
Very
now closed.
tinted. The windows are very tinted. It's hard to get a look inside.
Those tinted windows, the emergency lights are on, flashing right now. Here we are now in Panorama City on Parthenia Street. Alex makes a great point. If you know anybody in this area, as we see the black and white gaining on them, getting some traction here, please alert them to this reckless driver, because so many lives are in danger right now just watching this, watching him blow by innocent drivers, weaving in and out, near misses left and right. As Alex said, the suspect has already hit at least one parked vehicle we've seen on the curbs, wrong way. And here we go again, now on Noble Avenue in Parthenia Street in the North Hills, according to our Extreme Nav technology.
And now he's running into some of that traffic, but you could see that white sedan doing exactly what you should do.
Yeah.
If you ever encounter something like this, you're going to be alarmed, obviously, coming up from behind you. Pull over as safe as you can to the side. Never try to be a hero. Never try to box anybody in. Because in this situation, we're hearing that this individual in this BMW looks to be perhaps a 700 series BMW, a high-end sports sedan. There could have a gun. And you just don't know what they're going to do. You box that person in. This person is obviously very desperate at this time. He's doing whatever he can, endangering other people's lives. If you try to get involved and do something like that, he may get out, he may have that gun and try to commandeer your car. So please, in situations like this, heed, pull off to the right, slow down, and just try to let the officers do what they need to do to bring this to an end.
And Rick, what about the strategy of him staying on these surface streets as opposed to getting on a major freeway at this point?
Yeah, he's in an area where he had options. He had options to get on the 5, the 118 freeway. He wasn't far from the 210 up in the Sylmar area. It's unclear where the Los Angeles Police Department initiated this pursuit, if it was actually in Sylmar. We got first wind of this pursuit that's where the location was. But tracking it on the ground, LAPD units, and we talk about the danger of these types of high-speed pursuits, especially in these areas at this time of day on a Friday afternoon into the evening hours. Marla and Alex, LAPD units now, because they've watched this suspect and they're trending what he is doing, we're assuming he's a he, it could be a female, we don't know that, that it will stay in that area. They're going to deploy as many resources to the area to block those busy streets, to protect innocent people in their vehicles. Slowing down now on Sepulveda Boulevard here in the North Hills area of the San Fernando Valley.
We also don't know, because of being a Friday getaway, Labor Day weekend, how heavy the traffic would be on the freeways as well.
Yeah,
he's had, not too bad of traffic on the side streets.
And maybe he's smart with that, and he's seeing that if you got on the 405, any time on the 405.
Okay, can we see a pit maneuver here?
It's slow. It's slow down. It's unclear what he's doing at this point. But this is Sepulveda Boulevard through Van Nuys. You know Sepulveda, one of the longest streets in all of Los Angeles, running north-south from the harbor area all the way up to the north end of the San Fernando Valley. It parallels the 405 through the valley here, and he's choosing to stay on Sepulveda, now at Roscoe in Panorama City, I should say.
And Rick, the difficulty of unleashing those spike strips, that's the other option that that law enforcement often does, but with such crowded streets, that's difficult to do, right?
Absolutely, and especially because he's been driving in so many different neighborhoods. Although staying in the same general vicinity of the north end of the San Fernando Valley. But there's a possibility that they could do that, but then what they're going to have to do is assume he's going to be a few blocks up on Sepulveda, block all coming traffic on either the north or southbound side or both of Sepulveda Boulevard here. Traveling northbound on Sepulveda, now at Stagg Street, not far from Van Nuys Airport, where SkyFOX HD is based with our extreme nav system there. You can see the speeds. He's backed off a bit, though, right? Wouldn't you agree? You could just on the speedometer.
Definitely.
And unclear why that's the case at this point, but not driving, but still against traffic. Oh, making a left turn there. So now he's going to go on Saticoy from Sepulveda.
All right, so we're getting a look at the driver. I mean, hard to make out any real detail about the suspect there, an assault with a deadly weapon suspect from this vantage point. But nonetheless, we see those tinted windows, this sedan, black BMW, and flashing lights.
Yeah, and so we are, you know, obviously we want to cover this story. Our priority number one is the safety of our crew, though, and our chopper is about to run out of fuel on this busy news night. They're based in Van Nuys Airport,
which is
literally
right
a few feet from there. So they're going to have to land and fuel up, and hopefully we will get the end of this. Maybe this is the end of the pursuit here. Now,
got his arm out. Maybe he's gesturing to somebody on the street or knows somebody there.
So now this person has stopped.
Completely stopped.
Yeah,
he's talking to somebody.
And is that a gun?
No.
What's in his hand?
And I couldn't
Could have been
tell
a cell phone.
if it was a male or a female.
Red hat.
Yeah,
Wow.
it could have been either one. I could not tell if it was a cell or, but clearly gesturing to somebody on the side of the street. Again, this is Saticoy in the Van Nuys area. Saticoy is an east-west street, very close to downtown Van Nuys, in the heart of the San Fernando Valley. But clearly the driver, this assault with a deadly weapon suspect, has slowed down. The mood has changed somewhat. Not as dangerous, thankfully, because the driver isn't, the suspect isn't moving at the high rate of speed that they were, but clearly gesturing outside the window with their arm.
Not as dangerous if we assume that that is a cell phone and not a weapon.
Not a gun. You're right.
That's a gun. It's become a lot more dangerous right here, and it's hard for us to tell exactly what's happening there. But clearly trying to communicate for the first time what's going on there.
I can't tell. I mean, it looked like it's really difficult to tell, as it's just blending with the color of the vehicle there. But arm is out.
You wonder if this person may, like our chopper, be running out of gas soon, too. That may be a reason.
Okay, hands are out. And now it's a little cat and mouse action.
Did you see that the officer opened his door to get out?
And he or she's got both. At first second, it appeared it could have been a female, so I couldn't tell, and I don't want to continue to speculate on that. But both of the hands were out and still moving, meaning no hands on the steering wheel. Saticoy here in Van Nuys.
So is that
Just one hand out, gesturing?
There's the other, both hands. Trying to open the door, perhaps? It looks like reaching for the handle of the door.
Well, why not inside?
I mean, are they live streaming on a cell phone? Is that what this is?
That could be you never know.
Like an Instagram Live or something?
Well, anything in these times.
It looks. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
like he's doing some sort of live broadcast. Look at me. I'm messing with the LAPD.
My arrest or something.
Yeah, and I'm a hero. And how about this and that sort of thing.
And there goes a vehicle that's unrelated. So what the LAPD units now are going to try to do is get on the front end as well.
Certainly looks like a man.
Yeah, it does. It definitely looks like a male here. Unclear if anybody else is in the vehicle at this time. Tinted windows. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is a very dangerous high-speed pursuit that ripped through the San Fernando Valley on surface streets the entire time. LAPD helicopter up above through Sylmar, through the Van Nuys Airport, the north and central part of the San Fernando Valley.
Well, this looks like a selfie opportunity could cost this guy many, many years in prison.
And the situation is the officers are already instructing this suspect, and I don't even know if you want to call him a suspect anymore, because he's already endangered. He's already wanted for many traffic violations, which they can be written up for. The speed, the reckless driving, they can be charged for that. But it does appear that that's what this individual.
Getting out.
Okay, car doors open, and
Hands gonna be up.
And here he comes.
Whoa, what's that?
Whoa, he's got all kinds of stuff falling out of his lap.
I want him to put his phone
they're
down.
Clearly telling him to drop whatever he has in his hands. He lifted up his shirt. He's somewhat, and that's what he's doing.
The protocol right now is to just do as officers say and eventually walk back and get down, spread out, right?
And not broadcast your phone.
He just finally threw it down. Okay.
Yeah.
He chucked the phone down. Now he's going to walk back, and now he is doing what he's told by the LAPD officers. Thankfully, and I know we're going to have to pull away from this shortly, that nobody, at least from what we saw, was hit or badly injured during this pursuit, because it could have been much, much worse. Why he chose to finally give up, pull off here on Satakoy Street in Van Nuys, unclear. That appeared to be a cell phone. Units now coming up on this man. Will cuff him, walk him to one of the squad cars. The other units on the right will approach the vehicle. They'll clear that vehicle, the trunk included. Once we see those 4 fingers up, that means code 4, all clear.
All right, so you're watching the end of this pursuit that we picked up in Sylmar. Wild, reckless, extremely dangerous, and that suspect now in LAPD custody, all coming to an end at Satakoy Street and Tobias Avenue in Van Nuys.
With that, we're glad nobody got badly hurt with that. We'll be right back.
Fox 11 Beach and Surf Report is sponsored by the all-new 2022 Nissan Pathfinder.
Hold the presses, roll a second, keep the game close to my heart, my precious. Overtime tends to get overzealous. When the moment's mine, I'm gonna oversell it.